Parents, let me ask you, do these scenes look familiar? 4 for Nina because she's the oldest, 3 for Robbie, and 2 for Maggie.
No fair!
Hey guys, time to turn that off and come and clean your rooms.
No fair!
I don't think it's very fair at all that all I get to do is eat dog food.
They do look familiar, don't they? Just a minute, parents. We do it too.
Hey! I'll put 2 cards down. That's cheating. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I can see them.
Hey,
they're right here.
I've talked to you enough today about not getting along. You need to go up to your rooms until your dad gets home.
Hey guys, guess what? I just got some cool bikes. Let's go have fun. Yay! Alright!
That's not fair.
Come on, kids! Let's go make some cookies!
No fair.
So, we decided to do a family devotional on fair and unfair.
My name is Steve Macias, and I'm here with my family. And today we're going to do a Bible devotional, family devotional, in the style of Zechariah out of Luke 1. We're going to be talking about fair, no fair. And I have 4 beautiful people here to help me who are going to introduce themselves, starting with
Robbie Macias, the video game master.
Robbie Macias, the video game master.
Nina, the artist, I guess.
Nina, the artist.
Terry, the mom and wife.
Terry, the mom and wife. And
Maggie, the
Maggie, the missile. Maggie's going to start drawing
missing people.
Oh, missing people. Oh, of course. She's going to draw a picture for us right now. Go ahead and get started drawing your picture, Maggie. And then she's going to do it based on what we're talking about. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Zechariah in Luke 1. First of all, somebody tell me, who's this Zechariah guy? Yes, Robbie.
Zechariah is a person who preached and loved God his whole life.
Yes, he's a person that preached and loved God his whole life. Who else is he, Nina? What else do you know about him?
He had a wife named Elizabeth, and all they wanted was like a kid, and they like he said they had been serving God their whole lives, and the answer was always no. So they were.
Yeah, does that seem fair if you're serving God your whole life
No.
and you want a kid? No, it doesn't seem fair. Who eventually, we'll get there, okay? So one day, Zechariah is a priest and he's serving in the temple, and who appears to him?
An angel named Gabriel.
An angel named Gabriel. And what did the angel say?
He told him that he was going to have, that his wife Elizabeth was going to have a son.
Yeah, finally they're going to have a son. That's pretty amazing. And then can somebody tell me, well, let's go ahead and we'll read it for ourselves in verse 18 in Luke 1. This is what Zechariah says when he finally gets news that he's going to have a kid. This is what he says. Zechariah asked the angel, "How can I be sure of this? I am an old man and my wife is well along in years." Does anybody know what happens? What does Gabriel say to him? What does Gabriel do? Yes.
He makes him so he becomes speechless and he can't talk until his son is born and named.
Yeah, so Zechariah's like, boom, you know what? For doubting me, you're not going to be able to talk until your son's born, right? Before we say whether or not that's fair, let's jump over to verse 34. Same angel Gabriel, now he's telling the same news to somebody else. Hey, you're about to have a baby. This time it's to Mary. And Maggie, who was Mary the mother of?
Jesus.
Yes, Jesus. And so the angel Gabriel goes to her and says, you're going to have a baby. And she was only a teenager. And in verse 34, this is what she says. "How will this be?" Mary asked the angel, "since I am a virgin." So somebody tell me, what does Gabriel do? Remember, he kind of disciplines Zechariah. What does he do to Mary? Yes, Nina.
He tells her what's going to happen. Very nice.
He just tells her what's going to happen. Robbie, does that seem fair? What does that make you think? You think
He likes girls more than boys.
Yeah, he likes girls better than boys.
So
That doesn't seem fair, right? It might not seem fair at first until we figure out what Zachariah and Elizabeth were going to have to do. So, somebody tell me what they know about John the Baptist. Yes, Nina.
he wore camel hair. He went to live in the wilderness at a young age, and
He
ate
ate
wild
honey.
and wild locusts.
Yes, so he wore camel's hair, ate wild locusts and honey, and he lived out in the wilderness. Robbie, do you know anything else about him?
He baptized Jesus.
Yeah, he ended up baptizing Jesus. So, Terry, as a mom, when you have a child, does that sound like what you hope will happen to your child when they grow up? That they're going to live out in the wilderness, wear some wild fur, and eat whatever? Would you be okay with that?
No, it would be troubling and it would bother me sometimes.
Why? What do you want? What do parents usually want for their kids?
We want our kids to do well and be in a place where they're successful and happy.
Right. So, what do you think, Nina? What do you think got Zachariah ready so that he could raise a child that was going to go and do that? What do you think on what was helpful?
Gabriel's punishment.
Yeah, Gabriel's punishment. Why do you think it was helpful, Robbie, for him not to be able to speak? What could you do if you couldn't speak for 9 months?
Tell him, say what's gonna happen in his life.
Yeah, like maybe think about what was happening. What do you think, Nina?
I think he would spend a lot of time praying and meditating and asking God why this was happening.
Right. And who did John the Baptist get people ready to believe in? Yes, Jesus. And so, yeah, if you can imagine, Zachariah and Elizabeth were very well respected in their community, right? And so when they finally had a child, everybody was like, oh, this is amazing. And what else did they think was amazing? Yes, when he was born.
That they named him John instead of after his dad.
Yeah, and so when Zachariah had to write on the tablet what the baby was to be named, it really amazed everybody and brought some credibility to this story. Now, Terry, who would believe Mary as a teenager if she came up and she said, hey, I've never been with a man, but I'm pregnant? Who would believe?
Me. I don't think anyone would believe her.
Maggie would believe, but I don't think anybody would really believe unless what? Unless John the Baptist and his family had prepared the way. So, looking back on Zachariah's punishment, does it seem that unfair? Not as much? It still seems a little fair?
It still seems unfair, but it was beneficial.
It was beneficial. It was almost like, hey, this is unfair at the time, but guess what? Later on, it's going to be worth it, and we'll figure out why.
Right.
Could you imagine if Zachariah or Elizabeth along the way said, hey, we're not going to go along with this plan? Maybe people wouldn't believe in Jesus, right? And maybe we wouldn't have been ready. But thanks to them, we were ready. So what is a lesson that we can take away from this for us today, if something seems unfair in our life?
We can just go along with it.
Yeah, I kind of think we can say, hey, even though something seems unfair right now, maybe God has something that he's trying to accomplish in my life, especially in times that seem a little different. So I hope that you're encouraged with our family devotional today, and I hope that we can all apply this lesson, that challenging times, sometimes God knows what he's doing. We forgot something. This is outtake 1. We forgot to show Maggie's picture. So it looks like here we got an angel, here we got a baby, here we got maybe Mary, and then
Moses.
And Moses. Ooh, he was up in there. All right, see you later, guys. I still think it's unfair that I don't get food, that I like delicious food. I'm going to call my congressional representatives. It's okay, Duke. Here's a treat. You feeling better? I feel like my whites have now been absolved.